Thank you so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. everyone. I am Chris Grow.
And I'm Nada Iranpour. I'm glad you're with us here. Hopefully your day is starting off nice. Let's check in with Evan. It looks like, so far smooth out there.
So far smooth.
Yay.
A little bit of fog out there across areas like El Cajon, Ramona, but not a lot of trouble as we kick off the day. We see that marine layer stretches from your coast to our inland valleys. Overnight lows are really warm, mostly in the 60s out there. You can see how that layer of clouds is stretched just out toward Ramona, but not exactly into our inland valleys too far. We are starting to improve on visibility as well. Out along the coast, we're at 9 and 10 miles, looking good. I'll send things back to you, too.
Evan, thank you very much. And now today is the final day to vote in the special general election being held for San Diego County's first supervisor district.
Yeah, two South Bay mayors, Paloma Aguirre and John McCann, are competing for that empty seat. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live outside the county registrar's office with, of course, is one of the 13 locations where people can vote. But Regina, what are you hearing from both candidates?
Yeah, Chris and Netta, good morning. Like you mentioned, right, today is the final day for San Diego County District 1 voters to take part in this special election. But as far as the two candidates, Mayor of Imperial Beach, Paloma Aguirre, and Mayor of Chula Vista, John McCann, they have multiple different policies. I can start with Aguirre, whose current position, as I mentioned, she's focused on a sewage crisis, right? And McCann, he's focused on reversing the county's sanctuary policy. Take a listen.
Infrastructure fix that we can immediately take to remove the toxic hotspot that's emanating toxic hydrogen sulfide gases that are permeating all of the surrounding communities.
The biggest thing is to remove the super sanctuary county policy, and I oppose the super sanctuary county policy.
And so the special election is being held to fill the San Diego County Board of Supervisors seat left vacant after then Chair Nora Vargas announced she would step down. Vargas won re-election in November, but decided not to serve a second term. Now, although both candidates say one of their most pressing priorities is to decrease the cost of living, Republican candidate John McCann stresses that he opposes any type of new tax. His top priorities is increasing safety for all San Diegans, beginning by fully funding the Sheriff's Department. Aguirre, on the other hand, says she will continue her fight against the sewage crisis. From that interview that you just heard, she pointed out that her 5-point plan to tackle the issue recently passed by the board. She says she's also prioritizing preparing for looming federal funding cuts, from Medicaid to affordable housing to nutritious food benefits that would impact hundreds of thousands of San Diegans. So again, the final day of voting for the District 1 special election race is today. More than a dozen voting centers will be open today, including here at the registrar's registrar office. But out here, I can tell you that the voting centers start at 7 a.m. They will be closing at 8 p.m. We'll keep you guys updated with those latest results in the later shows, as well as the voting continues throughout the day. For now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Regina. So we've been hearing this phrase a lot lately. Get ready to pay more at the pump. Gas prices are expected to go up today, and that's because an annual increase to the state's gas tax and a new low-carbon fuel standard is taking effect. But as CBS 8's Shannon Handy is saying, it's unclear exactly how much prices will go up.
This has turned into quite the battle between Governor Newsom and Republican lawmakers. Newsom estimates the price per gallon will go up by less than 10 cents. Others claim it will be a lot more than that.
David Solano says there's a reason he bought a flex fuel vehicle, so he doesn't have to deal with the rising price of gas in California.
I could use E85, which right now is $2.79 a gallon, compared to regular gas, which I can also use, is $4.79. To me, it's outrageous.
Starting July 1st, it's expected to cost even more. That's when the state's gas excise tax will increase by 1.6 cents per gallon, part of an annual adjustment for inflation. Also, the California Air Resources Board is rolling out stricter rules which require fuel producers to cut carbon emissions, which many believe will be passed on to the consumer.
So that's where the conflict is. Some people estimate that would add up to 65 cents to a gallon of gasoline, whereas others think it'll only be in the range of 5 to 8 cents.
Alan Jin is an economics professor at the University of San Diego. He explained there's a lot of uncertainty regarding exactly how much we'll be paying at the pump, in part because of where the estimates are coming from.
People have different models in terms of its impact, and sometimes those models then are driven by political or financial considerations.
I spoke with Republican State Assemblyman Carl DeMaio, who warns gas could spike between $10 and $12 a gallon.
President Trump's energy policies are actually having a great impact on reducing the price at the pump. But here in California, prices continue to rise. Gavin Newsom and the Democrats have choked off any sort of oil production in California.
DeMaio is calling on Newsom to convene an emergency session on what he calls an oil and gas crisis. Meantime, Republican State Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones told CBS 8 he expects we'll pay $8 a gallon by 2026, especially with escalating tensions in the Middle East and 2 refineries closing. He started an online petition to repeal the low carbon fuel standards, saying California already leads the nation.
We've got to start protecting the economy in California now that we've protected the environment.
As for Governor Newsom, his office put out a release slamming any major price gouge, citing experts at UC Davis who estimate the state's low carbon fuel standard program could add between 5 and 8 cents per gallon. Shana Handy, CBS 8.
All right, we'll definitely have to see how things are shaking up, because right now we actually do have the average price for a regular gallon of gas now that everything has come out here in the county, and it's $4.63. Last week, it was $4.68. CBS 8 went around yesterday to record what the prices were then. We saw that it was $4.69 per gallon at a 7-Eleven on Claremont Mesa Boulevard in Kearney Mesa. And Mission Valley, the cost for regular gas at a mobile gas station was $5.39. And at Pacific Beach at Stars and Stripes, it was $4.25. At Costco on Morena Boulevard, members were paying just $3.99. CBS 8's Shannon Handy will take a look at gas prices later today to compare now that we have some of these in effect.
And now, for the first time in over a century, homeowners in the city of San Diego now paying for trash to be collected. The monthly trash fee is officially in effect here on this 1st of July, but you will not see the charges on your bill until October. On July 15th, homeowners can choose one of 3 bundles costing about $33 to $44 a month. Once you choose, the new bins will arrive in October. If you don't act, you'll automatically get the largest containers. But if you do downgrade in size from your current trash bin, you'll receive a credit the following year. This trash fee is expected to generate $140 million to help fill budget deficits. And right now, the clock is ticking for the U.S. Senate as lawmakers pulled another all-nighter to try and pass President Donald Trump's massive spending package. This bill includes an extension of the president's 2017 tax cuts, his campaign promise of no tax on tips, a new tax on wind and solar projects that use materials from China, and increased defense spending. Lawmakers in both parties have come out against its steep cuts to Medicaid. Now, if the bill passes the Senate, it'll still have to go to the House for final approval. All right, it is 6:09 here, Tuesday morning. Just a couple days left for the fireworks shows.
That's right. Remember yesterday when I said you should stake your claim early on the beach? Someone was listening.
Right idea.
One person
Really
exactly
early.
Listening.
had
3
their
days
sights
early.
set on that perfect spot on the beach this morning. The thing is, our beaches are going to get much busier in the coming days. Between now and the upcoming weekend, we expect it to be one of the busiest weekends at the beach, period. Temperatures are expected to be in the 70s out by the water, but to start off the day, there's a little bit of fog. I mean, Oceanside, Carlsbad, 8 and 9 miles of visibility, not a lot of trouble, but Fallbrook and Ramona are at 1 mile. We should see improvements come pretty quickly as that marine layer hasn't really affected us all that much over the course of the weekend and to start this week. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, there might be a little bit more impact because of that trough of low pressure sliding in. It's going to help to cool our temperatures down across the board between now and Thursday by just a few degrees, and then we'll warm right back up for the 4th of July holiday itself and beyond. This afternoon, 72 out by the water, 85 across our inland valleys, 89 for the mountains, and 111 for the deserts. We can see that across the county we'll be looking at partly cloudy conditions. Walking out the door right now, mostly 50s and 60s, 60s by the water, 50s as you make your way across our inland valleys. So between now and Thursday, you see that drop in temperatures, and then that subsequent climb in temperatures that takes us back to 82 for Friday, your 4th of July, and then going into Saturday. If you're waiting for Saturday to celebrate, 84 84 degrees inland. It's going to be quite warm, plenty of sunshine in the forecast, not only for this afternoon, but for the many, many afternoons to come. Checking in on traffic this morning so far, we've been tracking a crash that took place in the South Bay earlier this morning. It was on the 805 last night. 3 lanes closed due to the crash that took place at the Telegraph Canyon Road exit. SIG alert still issued. Again, 3 lanes blocked, and you can see the backups as that bottlenecks from the 805, previously about 6 lanes in that area, all the way down to just 3. We don't know when CHP expects this to be back open, but we do know that this took place last night, so it has been over 6 hours or so that CHP has been on scene. It looks like it's something that they're still continuing to investigate and still working to clear, but in the meantime, expect delays in that area. Border wait times this morning are looking like this. San Ysidro Port of Entry, 130-minute wait. It's going to be just over 2 hours. Otay Mesa Port of Entry should run you about 75 minutes in total.